Hey, what's happening, guys? We are back with the latest version of the Mockman. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this, here's the previous 3 videos we've done on this, and I'll put a link to them down below. But basically, this is an idea for a guitar pedal which will give you that jangly, very processed 1980s sound. So there's only one change that I've made from the last time, and that is the positioning of the compression circuit. Let's jump over to the computer and I'll show you what I mean. So if we look at the circuit real quick, here's the compression part of the circuit over here, which was designed and adapted from something Dr. Quincy sent me. And here is our drive op amp, and you can see the compression splits the signal after the op amp before it gets to the chorusy part. So I just want to change where this happens. So what we did, just remove this here, like so. And we're going to take the compression from the signal before the op amp. So basically what we're doing is we're compressing the signal first, and then we're sending it in for the chorus now. It's just a simple placement change, but I think it'll make a big difference overall. This video is sponsored by PCBWay. There's a link down below where you can get 5 boards for about $5 in just about a week. Check them out if you need boards made. PCBWay. Alright, we'll start how we always start, by putting in some resistors, because, you know, they're just the littlest, flattest, lowest component on the board. I am happy to report that the furnace has been working fine since its repair. We survived the super cold streak we had there for a couple of days right around Christmas. And today it is supposed to be in the 50s, which will be a nice little reprieve for the furnace, which for that really cold snap there around Christmas, man, whew, that thing ran non-stop. And it only got the house up to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, of course. I know I'm putting these in horrible, because these were the ones I had that were pre-bent, but this is a larger footprint, so they're a little awful to get in. And yes, neatness counts, but in the prototyping stage, just getting it to work counts, if you ask me. After that, we can go back and work on the subtle details, like a club tie and a firm handshake, you know. An easy look in the eye, with a certain look in the eye and an easy smile. Now, if you know what I'm talking about, I'll be very impressed. Get some blue tack here, kind of squidge these down, and I'll get them soldered in. But you don't need to watch that, do you? Okay, other than the ugliness of the placement there, that didn't go too bad. Alright, next I'm going to start with some of the electrolytic capacitors. And believe me, there's a lot of them. I'm sorry, not electrolytic capacitors. These are ceramic capacitors. These are monolithic ceramics, I believe they're called, or multi-layer. Something like that. Something like that, right? We'll get them soldered up in there. Now, we're dealing with audio, which is, AC here. So, each of these capacitors has been chosen for their value for the specific set of frequencies that they will either pass or block. So remember, when you're dealing with AC, which is what audio is, capacitors are going to behave as a filter, as opposed to DC, whereas the capacitor is going to be more of a reservoir for when different parts of the circuit are doing different things. But if you put a straight DC signal into a capacitor, it's going to block that DC, which is why we use them on the ins and outs of all our audio circuitry. Speakers do not like DC. So we block the DC with electrolytic capacitors. Yes, you could use ceramic capacitors. The reason, well, I'm no audio expert, so I'm not going to say the reason. I think it is. I mean, I know what I think the reason is. Well, I'll tell you what I think it is, and somebody who's a real expert could chime in and tell me if I'm right or wrong. I think we use electrolytics mostly as blocking capacitors because we can find them in larger sizes. Sorry, I didn't think the thing was recording. I'm like, did I just do all that for nothing? I mean, it's not for nothing, but if you'd asked me to say that all again, I'm pretty sure I couldn't have done it. I don't remember what I said. There's no scripts here. Be careful, I got poked there a minute ago with one of these. Yeah, I don't do scripts. And nothing wrong with the channels that script their spiel. I just don't, because you never know. I mean, when you're working on stuff like this, things organically change, so they don't often follow what we wanted them to follow, right? So you just kind of gotta roll with it as you go. But should be easy. Uh-oh. I hear my son has woken up. He's got about 2 weeks left on his Christmas break from college. All right. I think we're down to our last cap here. Well, the last of these type of caps. And now, if this works how I want it to work, and does what I think it should do. This is going to be the last version of this. The next version will be on a PC board with the, proper guitar stomp switch in there. And we'll be ready to put it into a box. So far, to get to this point, we have been at it over a year. Just making subtle changes to kind of tweak it and get what I want. Now, people will say to me, well, why are you doing it like this? Why don't you do it on a breadboard and find out if it works the way you want there, and then put it on a PCB? Well, yeah, I could do that. I mean, that's the logical way to do it. So why am I not doing that way? Entertainment. You guys come here to watch me do some of this stuff. And I think, at least, for the channels that I watch, kind of watching their brains work and figure out how and why they're doing what they do is kind of the fun of it. So when I did these projects, I kind of just, take you guys along for the ride with me. And basically you get a front row view of the entire process. Oh, look at that. I missed the resist. No problem. See, the board is starting to get pretty crowded now. Don't have any 1.5K resistors, so we're just going to have to sneak in a 1K and just squint a little bit, and then it'll be close enough. Right? Just squint a little bit. Kind of scrunch your eyes up. All right, I'm going to trim some of these and I'll be back. All right, so we've got a couple more things in. These are some strange footprints for these diodes. Never noticed that before. Yep, they all go the same way, so if you're designing a circuit, do everything you can to put your diodes in the same direction. It just makes life so much easier when you can take away something, that you're worrying about. Like you're thinking, did I put that diode in the correct direction? Because if I didn't, well, it's a diode, so it's going to block my signal. I don't want that to happen. So by just putting them all in, facing the same direction, use whatever machinations you have to make that happen. can just make your life easier. Which, I don't know, I tend to think is a good thing. But some people apparently just like to fight the world. Well, that ain't me, babe. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Hell, I ain't even a lover anymore. I could not imagine trying to date again at my age. Did I see a quote somewhere said, trying to date over 50 is like trying to find the least damaged thing in a thrift store that doesn't smell. I don't know how accurate that analogy is, but it's funny. And sometimes funny is enough. All right, what do we got? What do we got? Are we on to our ICs? So this is the PT2399, which is an interesting chip. We've talked about it in other videos, so I'm not going to get too much into it on this one, but that's really the heart of everything here. It's a they call this an echo processor, I believe. Get her soldered in here. I don't know if you could tell or not, but what I was doing was putting some pressure on the chip from the other side to make sure it's seated properly. Yeah, that's good. I'm happy with that. Now I can just come down here and solder them in. So shockingly, the Steelers are still in the playoff hunt for the last wild card spot. And they got their game against Baltimore flexed to Sunday night. You know, good job, guys. Everybody, me included, thought this season was a bust after the retirement of number 7. You know, first-year rookie quarterback's always a, you know, kind of a painful, scary thing. But, I don't know, I think the guys have done a pretty good job of pulling everything off. Very cool. Although, Franco Harris's death before Christmas really, wow. I remember the Immaculate Reception. And at the time, I wasn't, you know, I was a kid, so I wasn't really fully up to date on, you know, football and everything. I enjoyed watching it mostly with my dad. But I remember watching it, and the coverage, you really couldn't tell if Franco caught that ball or not. You know, what was that, 1970 something? This was the 50th anniversary, so in 1972. Okay. So all that's left now is to put these on. You don't really need to watch that, do you? Alright, here's our setup. We have the signal coming in through there. We're using wireless stuff today. Comes through the board, goes out through that one, into that one, and into the Happy Bear 5, which is just a straight up tube amp, no effects. Power supply set for 9 volts. Powering it up. Alright, so I'm going to lock this guy here. And we'll see what she does, right? Alright. So, with the effect off, here's our sound. And then we turn the effect on and we get yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. This is the final version. This is the one that I'm putting in a box. Heck yeah. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I couldn't do it without my partner and all the things I do here, PCB way. So check them out for all your PCB needs, and be on the lookout next month when we put this thing in a proper stomp box. If you enjoyed this, I hope you'll give me a thumbs up. Feel free to comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Big thanks to all the patrons. Big thanks to you guys for watching. That's it. I'm out. Peace.